Belgium and the Netherlands, or formally the Kingdom of Belgium and informally Holland. Two smallish bordering countries in Western Europe found, along with Luxembourg, in between France and Germany. They're low countries. Both are along the North Sea, historically at the so-called, quote, crossroads of Europe. And both do have a lot in common, as you might expect, but Europe being Europe, there are lots of differences you maybe wouldn't expect. Let's start with the fact that there is a town in both countries, but it's not just a simple border town. Oh no. The town of
Baarle
features a bunch of Belgian parts that are completely surrounded by the Netherlands, and within it, some of those parts are additional smaller parts of the Netherlands surrounded by Belgium. So when you walk around town, you see all kinds of international borders zigzagging about. Some of those international borders cut through buildings, even homes. In fact, there's a clothing store that's in both countries, and at one point during the COVID-19 pandemic, it shut down the Belgium portion but kept the Netherlands portion open since the Belgian government had forced stores to close down. But if you were walking around town, if it weren't for the markings everywhere, you'd mostly just feel like you were walking around in the same country, as much of the culture of Belgium and the Netherlands is similar, and everybody would be speaking Dutch. Speaking of Dutch, around 60% of Belgium residents speak the language, while nearly everyone in the Netherlands speaks Dutch. Oh, before we move forward, I should say that, at least in the English-speaking world, we call folks native to the Netherlands, quote, the Dutch. Now, they often call themselves
Nederlanders.
But yeah, most of the Flanders region of northern Belgium also speaks Dutch, and this region in particular has much more in common with the Netherlands. Belgium actually has 3 official languages: Dutch, French, and German. In Belgium's capital, Brussels, they speak both Dutch and French, and most Belgians can speak both Dutch and French to varying degrees. Down in Wallonia, they mostly speak French. Oh, and if you're watching this video right now from the Netherlands, you can likely understand me, as nearly everyone there can speak English, while that's less likely if you are watching from Belgium, as less than half of Belgians can speak English. Before we move forward anymore, I suppose I ought to bring up the elephant in the room. No, not literally that elephant in that room. It's a metaphorical idiom. Goodness. Okay, so a really important thing I should have brought up already is that Belgium used to be part of the Netherlands. Yeah, perhaps it's time to get into some history now, eh? But first, this video was sponsored in part by Birch. I never got a sponsor like this before. Birch is a premium mattress and a box company that makes mattresses and sleep products that are stylish, comfortable, and environmentally conscious. Birch makes organic, non-toxic mattresses made right here in the United States. I've had my Birch Luxe and upgrade to their original well-loved Birch mattress for about a week now, and what I like most about my Birch mattress is how supportive it is on my back, how it's breathable, and I feel cool at night, and most importantly, just how freaking comfortable it is compared to my old mattress. Also, I didn't have to go to the store to buy it. As you've been watching with this footage, I bought it online and they shipped it to my house. Birch mattresses are crafted with responsibly sourced and sustainably produced materials: organic cashmere, organic New Zealand wool, fair trade cotton, and 100% natural latex. I love my Birch Luxe mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Birch. You can click the link below or go to birchliving.com/MrBeat. Doing that gets you $400 off your mattress plus 2 free pillows. Okay, where were we? Ah yes, history. Humans have lived in the area of both modern-day Belgium and the Netherlands for tens of thousands of years. The population apparently first began to increase permanently in the late Bronze Age. Various tribes mixed together in the area during the Iron Age, and then later united against the Romans as they expanded their empire. After the Gallic Wars, the Romans defeated the Belgae confederation of tribes in modern-day Belgium, and we know quite a bit about them due to Julius Caesar, who wrote that they were brave and tough, especially since they were constantly fighting the Germans to the east. By the way, Belgium gets its name from the Belgae Confederation. Caesar also wrote highly about the tribes of the modern-day Netherlands. Then, of course, the Roman Empire attacked it and made it part of its empire as well. Trade in the area flourished after Roman settlement. Still, it wasn't always gravy, like during the revolt of the Batavi of AD 69 and 70. The uprising led to many Roman casualties, but after peace talks, the Batavi once again allowed the Romans to rule. Flash forward a few hundred years later, and Rome had lost its grip on the area as more and more Germanic tribes moved into the area from the east. Now, there had already been Germanic tribes in the area for centuries that were all collectively known as the Franks. The newcomers were mostly the Saxons, but also the Angles and Jutes. Most of the Saxons and Angles who went on to England are known now as Anglo-Saxons. Those who stayed in the area that is now modern-day the Netherlands would be known as the Frisians, and they even had their own kingdom for a while. Meanwhile, Christianity had crept up to the area and began to play a bigger role in local governments. The Franks expanded their control of modern-day Belgium and the Netherlands from the 400s until the 800s, with first the Merovingian dynasty and then the short-lived Carolingian Empire. After several civil wars splintered the Carolingian Empire into smaller kingdoms, the area had three main groups throughout the rest of the Middle Ages: the Frisians, the Low Saxons, and the Franks, and two main languages spoken. I mentioned them earlier: French, which evolved from Latin, and Dutch, which was a West Germanic language. Anyway, the smaller kingdoms all decided to join up in a new way again and stuff, eventually forming the Holy Roman Empire, which modern-day Belgium and the Netherlands became part of. By this time, folks referred to the area as the Low Countries. You know, since they were low and on relatively flat land compared to the more mountainous areas to the south. After the Protestant Reformation of the 1500s, many Christians who lived in modern-day Belgium and the Netherlands left the Roman Catholic Church. Needless to say, this led to religious tensions between the local Protestants and the Catholic Habsburgs who ruled over them, specifically Philip II of Spain. This, combined with Philip II's heavy taxes on the Dutch, ultimately led to the 80 Years' War, which actually did last 80 years. Part of the broader 30 Years' War, which also actually lasted 30 years. Whoa. Anyway, at the end of that war, the Dutch Republic became a thing. It was the first full independent Dutch nation state that eventually morphed into the Netherlands. Meanwhile, the Southern Netherlands, or Catholic Netherlands, was part of the Low Countries that stayed loyal to the Habsburgs and Spain after the war. A part of that region was in modern-day Belgium. Well, there was also Prince Bishopric of Liege, which stayed part of the Holy Roman Empire. Later, Austria and then France controlled this region. More on France in a bit. From about 1588 to 1672 is a period historians call the Dutch Golden Age, a time when this thing called capitalism made the Dutch very prosperous, and a time when Dutch trade, science, industry, and art became bigly influential, man. The Dutch Republic is also notable for being more tolerant of different religions and ideas than other countries were at the time. By the mid-1600s, not only were the Dutch a huge economic power in the world, they were also a huge maritime power, building a colonial empire around the world from Australia all the way to North America up until the 1800s. From the 1600s into the 1700s, the Dutch East India Company grew to be perhaps the largest company to have ever existed in human history. Ain't no thing. However, throughout the 1700s, the power, wealth, and influence of the Dutch Republic declined as it kept getting involved with wars with the more powerful British and French. But wait, you thought I forgot about Belgium. How could I forget about Belgium? So the French Revolutionary Wars caused modern-day Belgium to become part of France in 1795. But also, France just partially took over the Dutch Republic as well. That's when it became the Batavian Republic. But then Napoleon gained power and it became the Kingdom of Holland and had even less control over its own affairs. After Napoleon then tried to conquer a big chunk of the world, that didn't work out so much. The Congress of Vienna decided what a post-Napoleon Europe would look like, and they created the United Kingdom of the Netherlands, which began existing as a constitutional monarchy in 1815 under the leadership of William I. Well, guess what was included in its territory now? Yep, future Belgium. So how did Belgium become an independent country? I'm so glad you asked. The short version of it is they gained independence after the Belgian Revolution, but the long version can be found over on my friend Hilbert's history channel called History with Hilbert. Indeedaroo, he just released a video at the same time as this one going into how and why Belgium broke away from the Netherlands. You can watch it now, and I will wait for you to come back. Go on now. I trust that you'll be back. Come on, I'm not that insecure. Okay, so I'm assuming you're back now. Welcome back. So Belgium officially became a country on October 4th, 1830. Still, tensions remained high between it and the Netherlands until the signing of the Treaty of London in 1839. That treaty also allowed Luxembourg to become an independent country, although it shared monarchs with the Netherlands until 1890. Eventually, both Belgium and the Netherlands established parliamentary constitutional monarchies, and for the rest of the 1800s, things were pretty chill and both saw a lot of economic growth as centers of industry in the world. In the early 1900s, the Dutch were still caught up trying to hang on to their colonies around the world. Belgium had colonial claims as well. Notably, Leopold II, the King of the Belgians, had basically taken over the entire Congo Basin down in Africa for himself. After Leopold exploited and terrorized the local Congolese for decades, Belgium kept control of the Congo as a colony for decades more after he died. During World War I, both Belgium and the Netherlands stayed neutral, but Germany still invaded Belgium on its way to take over France. Even though Belgium was neutral, the Belgian army intentionally slowed down the German invaders as best as they could to buy France time. Not so neutral then. There was little Belgium or the Netherlands could do to completely avoid involvement in the war. Oh, and that goes for World War II as well. Even though both countries once again declared neutrality, the Nazis took over and occupied both for most of the war. Most Dutch Jews and almost half of Jews living in Belgium were victims of the Holocaust. The most famous victim being Anne Frank, who gained worldwide fame after the diary she kept when hiding from the Nazis later became published. Both the Belgians and Dutch resisted the Nazis during the war. Even though both countries suffered tremendously during the war, both recovered quite well. The two, along with Luxembourg, created a political economic union called Benelux, which is a big reason why all three countries have since become three of the richest countries in the world. In 1949, both countries became founding members of NATO. Later, both became founding members of the European Union. In fact, the Treaty on European Union was signed in Maastricht in the Netherlands, and Brussels is not only the capital of Belgium, but is also the de facto capital of the European Union, hosting a bunch of EU institutions. Even though both countries have had lots of immigrants move there historically, today Belgium is more ethnically diverse than the Netherlands. 13% of its population was born in another country. In recent years, Belgium has continued to struggle with political divisions within its borders, first between Catholics and non-Catholics, and then later between its French-speaking and Dutch-speaking population. But crap, I'm starting to tell you the differences. Hey, remember, they have lots of stuff in common. Both have similar climates. Basically, a temperate maritime climate that's heavily influenced by the aforementioned North Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, with generally mild summers and moderate winters. Both also have similar natural disasters. Both are prone to flooding, mostly due to occasional cyclones. Both can also occasionally get small earthquakes. Like I mentioned earlier, both are also relatively flat and low-lying. Coastal plains, baby. Portions of both countries are below sea level. In fact, around 26% of the Netherlands are below sea level, and thus it is more vulnerable to rising sea levels. The Netherlands has an ingenious system of levees and dams and dunes and trenches to make sure it doesn't, flood all the time like it used to. Real Engineering has a great video getting into how they do it. That all said, further inland in both countries, you start to get some hills, and Belgium really is a lot more hilly, and even has some small mountains down in the Ardennes. The Meuse is a major European river that runs right through both countries. Of course, the Netherlands can also brag that it has the mighty Rhine. Both are among the most urbanized countries in the world. In fact, more than 98% of Belgium is urban. Both have a similar population density. Both have low unemployment and have had stable inflation rates for a long time. Both have a 99% adult literacy rate. Both rank really high on nearly every quality of life ranking list. Both have very low poverty, in fact, even low compared to the rest of Europe. That's probably a big reason why both consistently rank high on the World Happiness Report each year. The Netherlands was ranked number 5 this year, by the way. Residents of both tend to lean to the left politically. Residents of both tend to be taller on average than people in most other countries in the world. In fact, residents of the Netherlands are possibly the tallest in the world. Both have versions of universal health care. Both have generous maternity and paternity leave policies. Both are growing at the same rate. Both have a really high life expectancy. Both have a high median age, although it's higher in the Netherlands. Both were the first 2 countries in the entire world to legalize same-sex marriage. Even though it has been decriminalized in both countries for a long time, technically marijuana is still illegal in both countries. That said, the Netherlands has been famous for its, quote, coffee shops, where you have been able to buy marijuana going back all the way to the 1970s. Also, the Netherlands is more tolerant of drug use than most other countries. Oh, and prostitution is legal in both, and both have red light districts. Both are big rivals when it comes to soccer, or, football. I'm sorry. I'm a weird American. In fact, folks call any football match between the two the Low Countries Derby. And yeah, football is the most popular sport in both. And finally, bikes. Visiting both, you'll notice lots of bikes. Cycling is kind of a big deal. Bikers everywhere. Bike lanes everywhere. Amsterdam, in particular, is often called the, quote, cycling capital of the world. If you've ever seen the channel Not Just Bikes, hosted by a Canadian who lives in Amsterdam, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So what about differences? Don't you want to know their differences? Well, if you didn't click away from this video, I'm going to assume your answer was maybe? First of all, the Netherlands is bigger in land area. It has more coastline, and it also has more people. The Netherlands also has bigger cities. It has 3 metropolitan areas with more than 1 million people.
Amsterdam, Rotterdam,
and The Hague. Meanwhile, Belgium just has 1, the aforementioned Brussels. The cost of living is generally higher in the Netherlands, but it also has a higher GDP per capita. But the average household income is higher in Belgium, and the Netherlands has the highest wealth inequality in the entire world. And yes, from what I could gather, Belgium generally has higher taxes than the Netherlands. Although the information out there is conflicting, Belgium spends a higher percentage of its GDP on education. The Netherlands generally has faster internet speeds. Major industries in Belgium include metallurgy, steel, chemicals, and food processing. Major industries in the Netherlands also include food processing, but additionally energy, machinery, and tourism. Residents of Belgium are generally more religious. The largest religion there is Christianity, specifically Roman Catholicism. Around 2/3 of folks in the Netherlands are not affiliated with any religion. That said, both countries are highly secular compared to most of the rest of the world. While both countries are extremely safe, the Netherlands has a lower violent crime rate and one of the lowest in all of Europe. Belgium has 10 provinces, the Netherlands has 12. Remember how at the beginning of the video I said that folks often call the Netherlands Holland? Well, Holland proper is only a region within the Netherlands located here, basically North Holland and South Holland, which only are 2 of the 12 provinces. Anyway, the Netherlands has a long history of land reclamation, basically turning sea into land by pumping out water and filling areas with sand. Today, around 17% of the total land area of the country used to be underwater. Belgium has weird borders with Germany, thanks to, wait for it, the Treaty of Versailles? Yeah, a former railway line, the Venbahn, that goes into Germany from Belgium, is still Belgium territory. It's also the reason why Germany has 5 exclaves in Belgium. So most of this thin strip that cuts into Germany is Belgium, and parts of it are like only 10 meters wide. Today it's a lovely biking/hiking trail, by the way. The minimum age to drink alcohol in Belgium is 16. In the Netherlands, it's 18. Speaking of beer, yeah, Belgium is known for its beer and also chocolate. Wait, aren't those the 2 main food groups? Oh, and their waffles. Although apparently Belgian waffles tend to be a bigger deal to tourists than Belgians themselves, the Netherlands are known for their windmills, tulips, wooden shoes, and cheese. Windmills have long been a way for the Dutch to manage all the water they have to deal with, and they are certainly distinct. So are the wooden shoes, or Dutch clogs, which historically were worn by farmers, factory workers, and even miners to protect their feet from sharp stuff. It's worth noting that many Belgians historically wore wooden shoes as well. They called them sabots. Most people don't realize this, but the Netherlands still controls 6 islands way over in the Caribbean Sea. Oh yeah, technically the Netherlands is the Kingdom of the Netherlands and is made up of 4 countries, the Netherlands and 3 other constituent countries.
Aruba, Curaçao,
and
Sint Maarten,
and there's also the 3 special municipalities of
Bonaire, Sint Eustatius,
and
Saba.
The Dutch company Philips invented the cassette tape in, wait for it, Belgium. In Belgium, it's mandatory for citizens to vote, not in the Netherlands. Well, let me clarify. All Belgians aged 18 and up have to at least show up to their polling station on election day. If not, they get a fine. And now it's mandatory for me to wrap this video up. I know, I still left a lot out, like tulip mania and why carrots are orange, but I grow weary. In conclusion, Belgium and the Netherlands are both breathtakingly awesome. It makes sense that so many people have wanted to live in both for so long. If you ever get a chance to even visit either, consider yourself lucky. A reminder to check out Hilbert's new video about how and why Belgium broke away from the Netherlands. It's a 2-part series apparently because it got out of control. I mean, I understand. Hilbert, his heritage is Dutch, so he probably got into it for that reason. Speaking of which, you probably noticed he chimed in a little bit for some Dutch pronunciations throughout this video.
So, Bruxelles, which is the Belgian French, and Brussels, which is the Dutch.
Anyway, check out his video and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already subscribed. It's called History with Hilbert. So, which is better? Belgium or the Netherlands? Which 2 countries should I compare next for this series? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.